Welcome back, everybody. We're super excited to have Serge, Langis, and Mike MacDougall here, the co-owners of Sweat Academy. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us on.
I'm going to start it right out of the gate. What is Sweat Academy?
Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks. Well, Sweat Academy basically is it's an elite basketball development school that we started. Serge and I were together probably 3-4 years ago just talking about the level of competition and basketball play that's happening in the greater Moncton area, and we thought there was a gap there. So we thought, how could we improve this? How could we close that gap and get, you know, our best athletes, our basketball players to an elite level? So that's really how we started Sweat Academy. We were lucky enough, our first year we went into the ACAA ranks and the CIS ranks.
Oh, wow.
So that's where our core business is. And from there we've evolved. We've been lucky. The second year we got into a bit more.
So how long has the brand, how long has Sweat Academy been around?
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years. And really, I mean, the big philosophy behind it is to identify the gaps in the development of our players in the greater Moncton area. But we're starting to realize that it's not just about the greater Moncton area. It's New Brunswick. It's all over the place. Next week actually, we're going to be running our summer team prep camp, we're calling it, for players that are interested in trying out for basketball in New Brunswick or for club teams of their area, and they just want to get ready. We're going to start a camp for about a month and a half, and we've come to realize that now we have some people from Fredericton that would like to drive down 3 times a week. Wow. And St. John also possibly. We got some people from there too. So it's becoming a lot bigger than we thought it would ever be within the first 3 years. But the whole start of it was to address the player development at the university levels for those kids when they come back home. And for me, I did coach. I do have some experience at the college level. And when you give that off-season program to the player, you got your fingers crossed they're actually going to work on it. What we do is we make sure they do. So we communicate with their coaches at the university level. We ask them what their priorities are, and we develop the program. We send it back to that coach. Coach endorses it, then we just follow through with it, and that's all we do. We use technology as much as we can to show that coach that here's your player, here's what they're doing. Are you okay with that? Is there something else you want? And it's really interactive like that, collaborative. And
So
the players love it.
That's awesome. So do you guys, you mentioned the university levels, do you guys do high school as well? Is there a specific age group, or is it just university?
Well, we started with the university age players first because that's, like I said, that's where we felt the gap was. And then we realized that as word got out that we were doing this, the high school kids started asking, and the parents started asking if we offered something. So we got together and decided that maybe it's time to address some of the gaps there, and we will be running a under-17 club team this summer. On top of that, we're trying to get into a big tournament in New York, actually. That would be our big tournament. You didn't know that, by the way, but now you know.
Yeah.
Surprise, everybody.
Yeah,
Hey, there you go, Mike.
I'll just
I'm good
schedule
like
that in.
I'm good like that. So yeah, we're going to be doing that for the first time. And like I said, the prep camp is also a first for us. We're going to see where that goes, because it's not for everybody. We really push these kids, and it's very, very technical. It's we pick you apart, and you think you're pretty good at doing something, but then we put in a little bit of a wrinkle to it. Next thing you know, you're not as good as you thought you were, and then we break that down and bring them up to what we define as elite, our definition of elite. You know, a lot of you see that word all over the place, elite this, elite that, but it's overused, and it means something to us. And if you don't fit, then here's your money. You don't fit. Get better. Moncton Miners there, Basketball New Brunswick's there. There's all kinds of other camps for you to get better. And once you're there, then you can come back to us, and we'll bring you at the higher level.
Well, you've already talked me out of attending, but...
Have you guys had a chance to work with any of the players from the NBL, per se?
Yes, actually we have. Jameel Terrell and Sylvania Watkins were both down last summer when they were doing camp for the Miracles camp.
Excellent.
And so I got a chance to work them out as much as I could. You know, sometimes got to kick them in the behind to get them going,
Sure.
those guys. But once they're there, they really get at it. And we're looking at adding to that this summer. It just depends if they're sticking around or not, who's coming to camp. So
Sure,
our
we won't
owner
know
would
till
know
next
more
season,
than
I
I do.
suppose, so.
Yeah.
But even just the experience that provides to even our ACAA and CIS players, which I should mention, we do both male and female athletes. It's not just male only.
Good.
It's just another level, right? You see an athlete from the NBL and you're on the court with them, and you just learn different things from them and how they approach the game, and the whole psychological piece too. We focus on that, not just the physical ability as well. So, yeah, it's been great.
And you guys mentioned these gaps, in between talent. And what do you think creates those gaps? Why are those gaps there at that level, but they're not? Is it people giving up the game, or is it a development issue? Or?
I think it's just what's available. What do they know? It's the culture. What's the culture around here? And the culture is you got basketball season and then you don't. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. It is important in the long-term athletic development that you do have a transition period where there's rest and recovery, but that doesn't need to be 3 months of playing Xbox. No, it's a different, it's active recovery is what should happen for the basketball player. And we're not going to ask players to play 45 games in the summer. It's not what we do. Sure. But we ask them to do very technical work. They are still recovering, and they're still building on their cardio and their strength and all that. But they're recovering from their season that they just finished doing. So,
for a second when you mentioned Xbox, I thought your ears perked up and you might have had a chance to get back in. But that's not what they were looking for.
Playing NBA 2014.
Still not attending camp.
What's the ultimate goal, guys? I mean, I know it's a pretty broad question. I know but you guys must have a goal.
Well, I think that's fair from a business perspective. I mean, we want to get into multiple sports. Our company is athlete development. It's not just basketball development. Although we're focused on basketball because that's our background and our forte. But we're looking to expand into other sports like baseball, football, anything else like with conditioning. So that's our long-term plan. Also facilities, right? We'd love to get into a spot where we have our own facility that we could operate out of. The school district has been great to us in terms of accommodating our schedules and getting us some facility time, but
City of Moncton as well.
Yeah.
And Miracles have helped out as well.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
That, along with the City of Moncton.
So you guys pretty much mobile right now?
We're looking for a home. We're looking for a home. We're hungry for a home. As soon as we have somewhere where we can basically dictate, I'm going to use that word, it's not the right word probably, but dictate what happens in that facility, we're going to go even at a higher level in terms of what we can offer, what we can do for players to get better. And we're being held back by a lack of facility.
Yeah. The brand Sweat Academy is great, and I don't know where it came from or who came up with it.
Oh, he did, actually. You
That's
shouldn't.
mine.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You're the only one that likes it.
Yeah, I heard it first. I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. But yeah, no, it's really grown on us. And
well, good for you to
you should
keep
see our
pushing,
uniforms. We should have brought our uniforms.
Oh, I
here.
should have brought our
We have
uniforms.
camouflage uniform because the
a
military
full-on boot
way.
camp.
It's the military approach. There's no room for error when you compete. As soon as you have an error, it's a turnover. It's 2 points that they get, 2 points you don't get. That's a 4-point swing. That
so
hurts.
you scare your athletes into being better. I like
So
that.
we make them hungry to be better.
Good
You
answer.
understand? Yeah, we don't scare them. We
Yeah.
don't scare them because if they're scared, then they don't belong with us.
And
So-
it's the whole approach that we want from our athletes too. If we look at this year, I mean, Kelly Bass playing for St. Thomas University, they went right up to the national game this year, finished second, came up a little short, but she's trained through Sweat Academy. Just the right mental approach, the right.
She's not Canadian.
Yeah.
She got all Canadian this year.
wow.
That's a big deal. Yeah. Yeah.
We had Jesse Balser, who's a Riverview kid, was going to go the small college route, ended up training with us, went to UNB, redshirted there, got his red shirt, earned that because he was not on their radar, and then got a uniform by the end of the year just because of work ethic and how he approaches the game and all of that. We try to train that into our athletes. So, I mean, it does kind of sound like a boot camp type atmosphere, but it's all about competing.
We make the athlete comfortable feeling the way that they naturally feel. Like Jesse Balser and Kelly Vass are two very unique personalities in the sense that they want to get at it. They are so fierce and hungry to compete and get better and work at it that these kids feel not very normal. Well, we're here saying you are normal. This is a safe environment. We want you to think that way. Sure. Freddie Connors, who coaches the St. Thomas girls, who's a silver medalist national, he said he recruited a girl and the parents said, heads up, she's a workaholic. And he said, well, I fully intend to take advantage of that. And that's exactly what we want. It's okay to be a workaholic. You just need to have a good balance and understand when you're going too far and when you're not. But if you have that hunger, we want to help fuel that hunger and educate that hunger for you to get where you want to be.
I gotta echo Chris's sentiment that I like the name as well, because when I think Sweat Academy, I don't think of like so much as the boot camp mentality. I just think of hard work, and that's what it takes, to succeed. I find like anytime I've ever played a sport, if I had a good game, I was sweating. Like if I wasn't sweating, I don't think I had a good game.
That's what I
right?
was told. If you're not sweating, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly. So I mean, hard work makes the team, or the dream work, is what the Wildcats used to always say, and I gotta agree with that.
Smart hard work.
Actually,
Yeah, anybody can work hard,
you
but if you
mentioned
don't
that.
work smart,
Well,
our whole
we'll see
our
here.
whole
They got
Twitter
the-
thing, we got the
they got
hashtag
the
train smart.
hashtag train smart there.
Yeah, I wanted that much bigger, like about
That's-
that.
There you go.
It didn't work out.
It's true. You gotta.
And those are yours, by the way. Those are
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
gifts
yeah,
from
thank you
us,
so
That's
much.
awesome. We'll wear those
So
around.
anytime you go for a jog or walk your dog or whatever,
Play
you wear
Xbox
that.
for Alex.
Or play Xbox, wear that. Yeah, sure.
There you go.
What
And-
kind of relationship do you develop with these? Like, do you guys stay in touch with the athletes? once they-
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. We're fully in the whole social media thing, Facebook, Twitter. We have our website. We text them every now and again to wish them luck or to find out what's going on. If their minutes are down, if their health is good, well, we definitely try to build that relationship with them where if they need us anytime, they can call on us for sure.
And if I have a elite child, or I guess adolescent, thinking of sending them to your camp, why do I send them to your camp? Like, who are you guys? What's your background?
Well, we're definitely different. Well, my background, I'll speak to my background, sure. I'm fortunate enough that I've been able to live, I'm an assistant coach of the Moncton Miracles. Before that, I was coaching at Crandall University for a couple of years there. I've been a provincial coach for basketball in Brunswick for many, many years, went to many national championships, worked for Canada Basketball with their Center for Performance. In the Atlantic area, I was the head coach for that. I took care of all that stuff, and that's where really I learned that it's a culture, and we don't have it around here. We don't understand that world. And the Miracles is a whole other different culture. There's a business component to it that just elevates everything from the performance base to is that player a good investment or not? It doesn't matter what his numbers are. Is he a good investment? Does he do more than just stop people or get buckets, So that was an education I had to go through as well, but that's my background. As a player, I played exhibition at the University of Moncton where we had an exhibition team there. I just fell in love with coaching at a very young age at 19 years old, and never looked back since.
Yeah, I'd say I'm in the same boat. I played here at Riverview High School. Graduated from Riverview High, went to UPEI. From there, I actually was just playing in rec leagues at UPEI. Blew my ACL out, which painful, but at the same time a blessing, because I was approached by the UPEI coach at that time, who said, I'm a principal out at a high school out here in Prince Edward Island, and we're looking for a coach. Are you interested? So, same as Serge, at 19, I got into the coaching ranks, fell in love with that area of the game, and it just blossomed from there. So I coached at PEI, at Morale High in PEI for 4 years till I finished my degree, then came back home. And I've been fortunate enough that when I came back to Riverview, I got suited up with some pretty well-known coaches in the area. Brian Forsythe was coaching at Riverview High then, so I got to assistant coach with him for probably 6 years or so, and then Gary Fox was the head coach after that, so I assistant coached after that with him, and I've been lucky to stay at the school since then. So I'm currently an assistant coach, co-coach, I guess, at Riverview High in the basketball season while Serge is with the Miracles, and then we pick up Sweat Academy right after that.
Right on. Well, you guys must have learned a lot of things over the years. What would you say the biggest difference is when you both started at 19 years old to today?
For me, it's the hunger to stay current. It's easy for a coach to fall in love with what he does and not evolve. I see it all the time, and it's too bad because you got some tremendous basketball minds out there that are still doing the same thing that they've been doing for 15 years. And although, yeah, at the end of the day, it's shooting a basketball, passing it, and dribbling, and that really doesn't change technically speaking, but the speed of the game and the length of the athletes and the athleticism, it's totally, completely different. And the game is very, very different at the higher levels. And you need to be able to, as a coach, understand that and be able to bring your athletes close to being able to perform against those types of athletes in those types of games. So for me, it was about staying current. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, and that's why you see some coaches who they perform really well and then they become stale and then they get, I'm talking about the pro ranks, but they get fired and whatnot because they don't adapt. And
well, the pro
systems
coaches are a different cat, I'll tell you. Because they have their way of doing things, and then if it doesn't work, they get fired, but they get hired at another team, and they do the exact same thing. They don't change. That's what they do. That's their thing. But for me, coaching is not that, and I refuse to believe in that kind of philosophy. It's, if it doesn't work, then figure out something else, and fast, because nobody wants to get fired.
No.
No.
What about yourself, Mike? What has changed?
I would say the same. I mean, if I look back at tapes of when I played in high school versus how the game's played right now, the speed is so much different, and just the fundamental skills that you need to possess to be successful right now it's just grown leaps and bounds.
The shorts are longer.
That's
Shorts are longer.
yeah, and the socks are coming back up again. The other piece, I guess, that I've noticed in the last few years is just the evolution of technology and how it supports coaching now. And that's something that Sweat really tries to incorporate into what we do. You can get training mechanisms and devices all over the place. So the feedback is always good for the athlete, and the quicker they can get the feedback, the quicker they can make those adjustments. So technology is really starting to play a role in coaching. So.
You know, we don't have a whole lot of time left, guys. In fact, I think we're down to less than a minute. But quickly, how does somebody get involved?
Just get in touch with us through Twitter, through Facebook, through our website. You know, call me. Doesn't matter.
You have to tell them. Our Facebook, on Facebook we're on Sweat Academy.
The website is www.sweatacademy.com, and at Facebook you just search Sweat Academy and it'll come up. And on Twitter it's at Sweat Academy. Or at Langis 3, I believe I am. So I'm on. I got 2 of them going on there.
Well, that's right on, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here, guys. I know that I've learned more today, and like I said, don't ever change the brand. It's fantastic.
Good.
Thanks for the swag.
Thanks for the swag, guys.
Thank you.
Anyways, guys, stick around. I was just informed we've got Graham Black coming up in the third part of the show.